Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 87th annual meeting of Nolin RECC. Somebody made a note a while ago that I should say 77 years ago, but somebody's already used that line, so I won't. Nolin's proud to be a part of this community for those 87 years, and looking into the future, looks like we're going to be a part of it for quite a while, making life better in Hardin and LaRue counties. We're proud of that. This time, we're going to ask Brother Bell to come and give the invocation.
Would you all stand for prayer, please? Heavenly Father, we thank you so much that we can come together today as a cooperative unit. And I use both of those because sometimes cooperative and unit do not go together. But this, Nolin, is certainly a one unit with the one focus of serving their customers to the best of their ability and to the comfort of all their customers. In our society today, it seems like every morning we get up, we walk outside and we empty a rain gauge because every day it seems like we have rain. And we empty that rain gauge and measure what it was compared to a day ago or a year ago or whatever. And it reminds me, Father, that even as we turn on that light switch, we fail to remember that there are people working hours and hours to assure that those lights are on. That there are people that are innovative, doing and studying ways to keep those lights on for the future. Father, I thank you for Nolin. I thank you for all their employees. I thank you for the organizations that they belong to and that they lead. I thank you for Operation Roundup that touches so many lives. But Father, as I empty that rain gauge, I fail to remember that that rain makes my grass green, makes my pumpkin grow. It just makes life better. And there's nothing better than refreshing rainfall that just greens up the evening. And so today, as we come together and pause and realize what a great organization we are serving and that we are served by, may we realize that it's a refreshment and a refresher to our lives. It makes our lives better and richer. Thank you, Lord, for the blessings of life. Thank you, Lord, that our cup truly runs over, and even our saucer. In our Lord's name, I thank you for this board, the leadership, and all those that make a difference in this room and in this organization. Amen. Thank you, sir.
Brother Bell, it's always a pleasure to hear one of your prayers. It makes you want to, if you were playing football or something, you'd be ready to go out and run through the wall. I tell you, you're a very special man. And if there was ever a need for a reverend on the staff at Nolin, you'd have my vote. I should have asked y'all to remain standing because now we're going to have the pledge to the flag led by Anna Summerall, who was an former youth tour participant. Glad to have you back.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Anna. Washington Youth Tour is one of the many things that we're proud of here at Nolin. It gives kids, juniors in high school, between their junior and senior year, a chance to participate in the democratic process, write a little essay, and get nominated, get chosen to go to Washington and spend a day or two. It's a real treat. We get a lot of positive feedbacks from that. So we're proud that we're able to do that every year. As I said earlier, it's a pleasure to put on the annual meeting each year. The board is one of the things that we like to do, and we work hard to keep the lights on, keep your costs down. It's a good board to be a part of. We work real hard for your money. I introduce those guys now and gals. Mark Cochran, District 1, has been on the board 2 years. Gene Straney, District 2, 38 years. Rick Thomas, District 3, 20 years. Rick's also our East Kentucky Power Cooperative rep, who generates our electricity that we buy. I'm District 4, been on the board 31 years. Linda Grimes, District 5, been on the board 16 years. She is our representative to the Kentucky Electric Cooperative. That's our legislative branch that goes to Frankfurt for our rights and also supplies the poles, transformers, and such to each co-op in the East Kentucky group. Mr. Ireland, District 6, been on the board 38 years. Mike Pike is our attorney, been with us 2 years. Great group of people to work with. Thank you. At this time, I will call to order the business meeting of the Nolin annual meeting. I need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion? Thank you. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The drive-through registration for the last 2 days has saw 2,698 members come through, grab their bucket, and take a short tour of the plant on your way out. It seems to work pretty good this year that we get them off the street quicker and onto our premises, and then head them out the back, and it worked pretty good. So we may do that again next year. With that number of members registered, this constitutes a quorum to transact the business at this meeting. The official notice of the annual meeting was mailed May 30th, 2025. The minutes of the 2024 annual meeting were distributed in the bucket of bulbs that you picked up on your pass-through. Can I get a motion to dispense with the reading of those minutes? Thank you. Can I get a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. I also need a motion and a second to approve those minutes as presented. Can I get a motion? Thank you. A second? Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Very good. There's your Robert's Rule of Order test for the day. Rick Thomas is the Secretary Treasurer of the group, and he has some comments at this time.
Thank you, Chairman Brown. This is just a small financial report. The financial statement, the 2024 financial statement was in the Co-op magazine. Kentucky Living is also in the bucket for the ones that went by and got their bucket and bulbs the last couple of days. And just a brief, we are a $168 million cooperative, which is pretty impressive. We also had a very good year with a $4.4 million in margins for 2024. The margins at some point in time will be returned as capital credits to all of us members. 2024, we're proud to say, was better than we actually expected. Inflation that has been experienced also in the electric business, just like it has for everyone at home, at our individual homes. We are blessed to have a great staff that is managing these impacts, and we will have to also realize that tariffs are going to make some impacts as well, and will have to be managed as well by our staff. But our staff is led by Mr. Greg Lee, and they're up to the task, and we'll challenge them, I guess, in that respect. They've done a great job, and ask them to continue to do a great job. We have not had a Nolin rate increase since 2017, which is pretty phenomenal if you think about where we've been with all the COVID pressure and the inflation pressures that we've experienced. I will let you also know that about half of our sister co-ops in the East Kentucky group are in for a rate increase now, so it kind of shows you where we are in the scheme of 16 other co-ops. Or excuse me, 15. We're the 16th member in the East Kentucky group. So Nolin financially is in very good shape. And if you have any comments or questions about Nolin's financials, we would ask you to feel free to contact any of our board members. And if we can't answer your questions, we will find you an answer. And I'll turn it back over to Chairman Brown.
Thank you, Rick. You know, it really is a testament to the last 7 years of no rate increases with all the pressures. It's just a testament of how good the staff and the leadership here at Nolin has done taking care of business. We're quite proud of that. Brother Bell mentioned Operation Roundup. That's why a lot of you are here. When we started this program, you know, we had some expectations, but I think it's far exceeded anything that we thought it would be. We kind of copied it from a co-op in South Carolina, but the difference being the people in South Carolina, when they signed up for service, they were automatically in Operation Roundup, and you could only opt out. So naturally, they collected a lot more dollars that way than the good-hearted people of Hardin and LaRue County that volunteer to get in it. So we're quite proud of that. Is there any unfinished business to come before this business meeting today? Is there any new business to come before this meeting? At this time, we also had election this month of directors, and to report on all that going on is our attorney, Mike Pike.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, friends and neighbors. It's my privilege to provide the nominating committee report, election tellers report, and remarks concerning our election procedures today. The 2025 nominating committee report is as follows. The general nominating committee members are Chuck Crutcher, Mike Byers, Lisa Schrader, Linda Bacher, Elena White, John Tyndall, and then from District 2 we also have Francis Carter, Larry Osborne, Matthew Miller, and Diana Osborne. And from District 6 on the nominating committee we had Rosalie Battistoni and Mariah Horrigan. The nominating committee met on March 20th, 2025, and after due consideration agreed to nominate Gene Straney as a candidate from District 2 and Lawrence Ireland and Lauren Hales as candidates from District 6. All the candidates agreed for their names to be placed on the ballot. For the 2025 election tellers report, the election tellers for this election were Matt Adams, Linda Bacher, Marlene Lucas, Charles McCoy, Price Smith, and Harold Thacker. The election tellers met today at the cooperative office and counted the ballots. The results were as follows. For District 2, Mr. Gene Straney, 1,652 votes. In District 6, Mr. Lawrence Ireland received 887 votes. Ms. Lauren Hales received 783 votes. Write-in votes, we had 11. Void ballots were 24 in number. Blank ballots were 147. Gene Straney, having received the highest number of votes in District 2, was duly elected as director to fill the vacancy in District 2. Lawrence Ireland, having received the highest number of votes in District 6, was duly elected as director to fill the vacancy for District 6. The complete list of all votes is available for inspection. As attorney for Nolin RECC, I have examined the report of the nominating committee and the report of the election tellers concerning the election of directors for this cooperative. I certify that these reports were made in accordance with the Kentucky Revised Statutes and the bylaws of the cooperative. Therefore, the election of Gene Straney and Lawrence Ireland as directors of the cooperative is a valid election. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and that concludes my reports.
Thank you, Mike. Also want to thank all the people on the nominating committees that met, taking time out of their busy schedules to do this for us. It's a very democratic process. We take pride in some of the co-ops around the country don't do this, and we think it's the only way to do it. So we're proud that we continue to have support and participation in that process. This motion always goes over good. Can I get a motion to close the business meeting? All in favor say aye. Thank you. At this time, we're going to introduce the chair of the Operation Roundup Committee, Mr. Price Smith.
Thank you, David. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see everybody here out today. Like David said, my name is Price Smith. I'm the chair of the Operation Roundup Board of Directors. And just in case you don't know, Operation Roundup is a voluntary program which allows Nolin members to round up their electric bills to the next highest dollar. The average monthly donation is about 50 cents. It works out that way. And thanks to over 6,500 Nolin members and employees, we're able to assist multiple organizations in our community this year, including what we're going to grant out today. Operation Roundup has given over $450,000 to support programs in our local communities. And yes, let's do a hand clap. And I want to thank each of you for the contributions that you do to make this possible. Operation Roundup is governed by a volunteer board of directors, and I want to introduce them to you at this point. Our vice chair is Chuck Crutcher. Please stand. Michelle Rogers is our secretary treasurer. Curtis Willoughby is not with us today. He's a board member. Don Wise, Linda Bacher, Barbara Profit, and Pam DeRoche are our board of directors. So this year we granted out to 15 different organizations and programs to receive over $40,000 of Operation Roundup funds. So now's when we're going to announce the winners. As I call the names of the recipients, I ask that the representatives from those groups to stand while we explain what the grants are going to be used for, and they'll be recognized. I do want to ask you to let's hold our applause until the end, until all the groups have been recognized, and then we'll recognize everyone together. So in alphabetical order, we're going to announce our winners. First up is Camp Tessa, and the representative today is Kay Mao. They're going to use the funds to purchase STEM kits for their campers with autism. All right, congratulations. Next is the Down Syndrome Association of the Heartland. And with us we have Tanya House and Jessica Taylor. They're going to purchase a smart board, some laptops, an iPad for their academic tutoring for individuals with Down syndrome. So good deal. Next is Empowered Life. They're going to purchase some shelving, storage totes, arts and crafts supplies, printing supplies, and cooking supplies. And the representatives that we have with us are Christy Scoville and Laura Watts. Great. Good group. All right. Next is the Friends of the Hardin County Animal Shelter. The representatives that we have with us today are Myra Covalt, Pat Covalt, Lisa Williams, and Sean Foy. And they're going to use the funds to assist with expenses that they have for the SNP spot. That's a spay and neuter clinic they're going to be providing in Radcliffe. So good job, you all. Next is the Friends of the Hardin County Public Library. Nancy Shores is with us from that group, and they're going to use the money to help pay for the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library Book Program and the postage expenses involved in that. Very similar to this is the next group, which is the Friends of the LaRue County Public Library. Chandra Bland Brooks is with us, and they're going to also use the funds for the Dolly Parton Imagination Library Book Program and the related expenses. So congratulations to you. Heartland Ambucks is our next group. The representatives are Tracy Olson and Shelby Price. All right. And they're going to use the funds to purchase a Amtrak adaptability trikes for disabled children. So hopefully that'll be a good outfit for them. Thank you. Helping Hand of Hope is next. Chiquita Jones is with us. Hey. They're going to purchase food items for their holiday meal boxes as a part of the Affordable Christmas program. So congratulations to you. Next up is Nellie Thomas and Terry Manthe with the Hope Academy for Kids. They're going to purchase equipment, supplies to create a boutique area for their clothing donations. We thought that was an interesting one this time, so good luck with that. Next is the Hope Food Pantry. Vonda Gray joins us, and they're going to use the funds to purchase food items for low-income families and seniors. The Lincoln Trail Elementary School. Kelly Miller and Penny Best are with us. They're going to purchase school supplies for the Power Up after school program. So good job with that one. Project Learn and Borders. She's with us today, and they run a program that's very well attended by their group. They're going to purchase cabinets and countertops for an all-purpose area that they have. Rineyville Elementary School. We've got Tanya Vowles, and I don't guess John is still with us. He had to run. That's okay. Anyway, they're going to purchase art supplies for their 1 through 5 grade program. And finally, Sunrise Children's Services. Rachel White is with us. They're going to use the funds to assist in the creation of a serenity space and dialectical behavioral therapy training for clinical staff. Say that 3 times fast. Anyway, all right, so that's our group. Let's give everybody a big hand. Now, I said this to these folks earlier, but it really is a process, and I want to express thanks to every group for completing the application, providing the necessary financials, going through the hoops that we have to get this far. And it's actually very beneficial to your group, but it's beneficial to the Operation Roundup Board, because that's when you tell your story to us, and that's what makes the difference. So I want to thank each of the organizations and the representatives for the difference that you make in their communities. And on behalf of the Board of Directors of Roundup, I would like to express my thank you to each member that participates in the program, because without those nickels, dimes, pennies, and quarters, we wouldn't be able to make these programs work. So continue in that support, and if you're not enrolled in Operation Roundup, I urge you to contact the Nolin offices and we'll get you signed up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bryce. On behalf of our board, you guys rock. They put in a lot of time for this. I don't know, volunteer time, 2 or 3 meetings a year at least. We can't thank you enough for what you do. So Michelle's a big part of that as well.
Yes.
Tell them, Barbara. Next presentation is our president and CEO, and as a board, we couldn't be prouder of our hire in 2019. He's done a wonderful job with finances, PR, morale here to co-op. Already well known throughout the state, continuing the name and the banner that Nolin's carried for years. So couldn't be prouder of Greg Lee.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our 87th annual membership meeting here at Nolin. Continuing with our drive-through registration format, we had a significant turnout this year. David mentioned we registered 2,698 members over the last 2 days, and we were able to circumvent some of the challenging weather by having our bucket dispersal in our back warehouse this year. It also kept a lot of traffic off Ring Road, so all in all, it worked quite well, and we had several people comment that they enjoyed the plant tour when they got done going through, almost like it was an amusement park ride or something. We appreciate all the members who stopped by to see us. It's always nice to see friendly faces and share in some brief fellowship with our members. A lot of hard work goes into planning and making these events operate well. A special thanks to Michelle Rogers, Chelsea Faber, Desiree Ruick, Andy Patterson, Allison Coffey, Sarah Robertson, Sarah Fellows, and the rest of our team who went the extra mile for our members. Stay tuned, and in a few short minutes we'll be drawing for the prizes for all of the registered members. While we've evolved drastically in technology and our practices over the last 87 years, the necessity that we provide to our communities remains as important, if not more so, than it did in the early days of our cooperative. I take great pride in hearing from our members who feel a particular connection to Nolin, whether that's because of a family member or friend who works here, or because you've had a positive interaction or experience with an employee. I believe these are all byproducts of setting a high bar of performance for our employees and holding them to that high standard. We place tremendous value on our community connections and the goodwill that we establish with our members. But it's not lost on me that most days the best thing that we can be is unnoticed. We strive to achieve this by keeping your reliability high and your costs low. And on the days that Mother Nature or Father Time wreak hardship on our plant, or the increasing cost of fuels, inflation, and our generation resources renders your bill higher than we'd prefer, please understand that our response is as swift and efficient as possible. We hope to earn your respect through the qualities we exhibit: fairness, equitable treatment, perpetual effort, attention to detail, and an emphasis that you, our members, come first. And on those regrettable occasions that we do fail, we take a deep dive to understand the cause and prevent a repeat. Our commitment to you is not perfect, and it never will be, but by understanding that the only acceptable outcome for you is continued improvement, our missteps will serve as fuel in pursuit of an ever-increasing standard of performance. In 2024, we found ourselves in a fortunate position to be able to retire a little over $1.5 million in capital credits. That made 6 straight years we've done that, and the total cumulative return to the membership over that span has been $21 million. And we decided earlier this month that this will be the 7th straight year that we make a general retirement, and we're going to retire about $1 million this year. Thank you, Barbara. So to all of our members, we're really proud to be a small part of your communities. Thanks again for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to serve you.
It's good to see Judge Tall here today, and we also got a dignitary from Hodgenville, Mr. Cale Tharp, sitting back there being good. Funny story about Cale and me. Any of you listen to Abe? If you drive by every now and then, he'll holler at you on the radio. And my grandson and I went by the other day, and Cale, did the usual over a song. He'll go, "Hey, here goes Dave Brown." We get about halfway around the square, and my 7-year-old goes, "Who sang that?" So I had to kind of explain to him. I said, just that big guy down there on the corner. But it's kind of cute. One more thing before we go. Let's turn around, or let's just applaud all the green shirts in the building, because that's why we're here. That's all we have today, and we'll be back in a few minutes for the grand prizes to be drawn. So thank you very much for your attention, and we'll see you next year.
87th annual meeting. I'm Cale Tharp from Abe 93.7. My pleasure to be a part of this. Co-op was founded back in 1938. The first lights came on in 1939. Price, it took them that long to come up with John Deere green shirts. And I love them. If you know me, you know how much I love those. We want to go through what was in our bucket. Boy, let me tell you, you really clean up when you come to Nolin and take advantage of being a member. You got a 9-watt bulb, also another 9-watt bulb. You got a nice bag to carry your money around in if you got plenty of money to carry. This was nice this year, surge protector. Really nice. Some information about Smart Hub. Sarah talks about that quite a bit on the radio, so you can read about that. Generators, probably had a lot of those in use here this past spring with the crazy weather we've had. Washington Youth Tour, we're going to talk more about that in just a second. Scholarship program, and as you heard, all the recipients of Operation Roundup, a great program. About $6 a month is all that costs you to be a part of. You won't even miss that. And minutes from the annual meeting if you want to read up on that. So a lot of good stuff. And of course you get the bucket too. You got to have the bucket too. So good stuff here today at the Nolin RECC annual meeting. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about more of the scholarships that we're getting out. These students were selected from a random drawing during the Nolin Member Advisory Council meeting earlier this year to receive scholarships. $1,000 scholarships awarded to 10 local graduating high school seniors. And they are Jacob Butterworth, Jacob Nelson, Kara Witcher, Samuel Nelson, Ava Stith, Hunter Miller, Mackenzie Rucker, Will Clark, Isabel Hayes, Jacob Marksberry. $1,500 continuing education scholarship awarded to Micah Johnson. Reagan Neal was selected by committee to receive the $2,500 Bob Wade Memorial Scholarship. Ella Pruitt selected by committee to receive the $1,500 Board Memorial Scholarship. Also want to say congratulations to these students that are on the Washington Youth Tour. That's every year for juniors have an opportunity to go, and they're on the trip right now. Cyrus Bivens, Isabel Huber, Karsten Ingalls, John Murphy, and Maya Reddick. And speaking of the Washington Youth Tour, Price, you get a break this year, aren't you? Aren't you tickled? He retired. He doesn't look old enough to retire, but he's retired. Anna is here, recent graduate of Elizabethtown High School. Where'd you say you're going to college?
Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama.
So you're going here pretty soon, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And you were a part of the Washington Youth Tour. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's great. It's a very, very hot week in Washington, D.C., and they pack that week full. You are at Monticello and Mount Vernon as in the same day that you're seeing the Washington Monument and you're on the mall. So they make sure that you get your co-op's money's worth to tell you all about our nation's capital and all about what goes in on the legislative part to put energy in our houses.
And you would do it again in a heartbeat, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, she's going to help us draw some names here in just a second. I do want to tell you that 165 coloring pages were submitted this year. If you don't care to hold those up and just show them one at a time, some examples of the coloring pages we got this year. That's always neat. While she's doing that, 2,698 Nolin members registered for the annual meeting, and consider the crazy weather. That's a really good number. And speaking of the weather, I do want to brag on our line techs, because I know they were out again last night working to keep the lights on. And we take that for granted. You know, we just assume the electricity is going to be there. These guys and gals are out there making sure that we have the lights on. We appreciate that. Okay, we're ready. Michelle, looks like she did when she graduated in 1988. She's going to help us keep up with the winners here. We have first a $500 winner to draw for. Gary DuPont from Elizabethtown. Gary DuPont from Elizabethtown. Gary told me that if he wins, I get half of it. That's a pretty good deal, isn't it? Now we have two $250 winners. First one is Wanda Maldonado from Elizabethtown. Wanda Maldonado from Elizabethtown. And Rosetta Hudgen from Ronnieville. Those are the $250 winners. Now we need 5 $100 winners. She's done a good job. 5 of these. Daniel O'Brien from Elizabethtown, that's a $100 winner. Cynthia Linder and Rick Linder. Price, we know who that is, don't we? He cuts our hair. Maybe we'll get a break on a haircut since they won some money. I doubt it. Amanda Rowlett and James Rowlett from Elizabethtown. Wayne Reynolds from Hodgenville. At 4. Okay, one more. Gwen Newton from Elizabethtown. $100 winner. Now we need 10 $50 winners. She's got this thing down pat, let me tell you. Patrick Preston from Glendale. Terry Schneider from Elizabethtown. Tammy Taylor. That's an employee? They can't win?
Well, they can, but we will not.
Gotcha, okay. Mac Wood from Vine Grove. James and Sandra Jones from Elizabethtown. I'm assuming that both names are on there. You have to split the money. Is that right? It works. You can't keep that a secret, huh? David Goodman and Sherilyn Goodman from Elizabethtown. 5 more. Is this another employee? No? Okay. Megan Habana. Gary Linder from Eastview. You related to Rick Linder? Don't know? Okay. Linder family's cleaning up here. Robert Ross Jr. from Cecilia. Rebecca Sanders. How many more do we need? One more? Okay. All right. Jess Durantz from Elizabethtown. So congratulations. Those are our $50 winners. Now we're going to draw out the coloring contest. Over here.
I don't think I can spin this one.
Probably better not. We need 10 of these for $25. Carson, 8 years old. Susan Burkholder is the member name. Adam Purdie, Stephen Purdie is the member, 2 years old. Elizabeth Faber, 9 years old.
This is an employee, so we'll do it.
Audrey Tucker, 6 years old. Malcolm, 7 years old. Sure how you say that? Amaka? Not sure. Amaka? Okay. Nathan Highball is the member name. Not sure about the name on that one, but Nathan is the person to contact. Jack Nance, 9 years old. How many more do we need?
3 more.
3 more, okay. And Rowan Godby, 8 years old. Arnie, I believe, 16 months old. Michelle Ledbetter is the member. Sebastian Meadows, 8 years old. That's the last one?
That's it.
That was fast. All right. Well, let's have a hand for all of our winners. Great day to be a member of the co-op. Again, my pleasure to be here doing the fun stuff. This is something I look forward to every year. Good to see all your smiling faces. We appreciate you coming. We appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you next year.